I want to plan for it, and I'm going to need powerful friends, Jeff. Powerful friends. From the Marvel universe, you know her as the Red Sorceress. No, it's Scarlet Witch. It's Elizabeth Olsen.
Hit it, babes.
The obvious joke to make is like, hey, could you use your signature Marvel power to undo that election? But I've seen 2 movies now, and I can't figure out what your signature power is. It seems like you can do anything to anyone, but it involves red light.
Yep, that's as much as I understand. And I think at some point I get to manipulate time. I think, at least in the comics.
Oh, good, because your character was kind of weak, so I was hoping they would give you...
In the movies, it's different.
Is your mic on, or are you just far away from it?
Oh, I don't do this much. There we go. Thank you.
But that does make me curious, like, when you're in a movie like that where you're like shooting gagoos and everything's like... So then, let's say Joss Whedon comes up, like, okay, we did 1 take. Now he's gonna give you an adjustment. Like, what is he? How much?
He actually made up the whole movement. It was all in his head. So he had very. Oh yeah, he wrote it moving, like me. At least he told me that, and he would physically ask me to do different physical things and demonstrate it for me. And the Russos don't do that. They don't understand. They're like, I don't know what to do with you. Why don't you go away and figure it out with your choreographer? And I'm like, okay, great. I love what I do, but we'll talk about it later. But anyway, this is so frivolous.
Yeah, well. I wasn't gonna go on to ask you what's it like to wear so much makeup.
Yeah.
I was gonna eventually, like, I did invite you on because we were doing a project together, and we, so you were one of the first people I saw, in the
right
wake
after
of
the
all
election,
of this,
yeah.
in the wake of every woman in Los Angeles, like going through something that I'm not even allowed to pretend I understand because that's just part of the problem, and blah, 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 and that makes me more mad, makes me want to be manly and do things, and that's what the problem is because we just elected a guy that wants to be manly and do things, and it's like, I can't mansplain, but the only thing to explain is that I want to mansplain, and not being able to mansplain is making me angry, and my therapist has verified that is every couple right now that's coming through. It's like, it's a woman with what as a Star Wars fan I would call a carbon-scored feeling panel that was tricked over, let's face it, 180 years into putting a little fiber optic cable out and then it just got sliced off with this Cronenbergian penis slimy knife, tricked you, got you, and now they're just wandering. But anyways, what was I talking to you about? Joss Whedon.
We were talking about I mean, I don't know if I represent a feminine response.
No, not at all. No.
But I mean, just because I don't.
No, you were like, I just pull out my dick and vote. And
yeah,
I was like,
that's
whoa.
Exactly what I said.
It's huge, but it glows red, and I can't. It was like, no. I was
actually not in the country because I did a mail-in vote and handed it in because I was so scared to trust the mail service, and I was in Mexico City. And so that was really interesting. And I was talking.
Yeah, I was like,
and I was
how
talking,
fast are they going to build this thing if it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I can have one more margarita,
the joke
right?
is now they're like, yeah, let's fucking build a wall so no one from America can come in. Like, that's the only joke to make now. But I had a friend when I was saying, really emotionally on Wednesday morning, I was like, how can there be so many racist and xenophobic people and sexism and everyone's so uneducated? Our education system has failed us. He just said, I don't like my president. I didn't vote for him, but there are a lot of people in my country who did, and a lot of people make $2 an hour. And, well, he first told me that I was part of the problem for saying that. And then he said, I don't blame the guy who makes $2 an hour for voting for our president because he actually bought his vote and gave him a refrigerator. And I don't think he's stupid. I don't think he's ignorant. and I'm not saying we're in the same situation, but
and we don't measure things in refrigerators. So they're coming along down there.
But that's something.
I measure them
to
in
think
delicious
about.
Trump steaks.
But that is something to think about. Like, okay, how am I part of the problem by just naturally assuming that all these people are this, and this, and
how are you part of the solution? You mean? Did you?
Yeah. Sorry, or
you said how am I part of the problem?
Yes, I am part of the problem.
Right, because you're a woman.
I'm doing
no,
this.
I'm kidding.
Yes, and because I have a vagina.
Right. It's full of mystery and betrayal.
And the what?
Just ask the blacks. That's what I came here tonight to do. Erase lines. Yes. How are you? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is like, okay, so it's like, and there's lines behind lines because. When I hear that story about Kumail at the bar, I'm like, oh, bullies. Like,
right. I
know what a bully is, and I like, and then that means I need to do this and this and that. I don't know those two guys. I know 5 things about them, all of which total make them douchebags, and they needed to be dealt with in that moment the way that they were dealt with, and we would be foolish to not ask ourselves at this point. Should we? There's 2 things to think about for me. One is, how do I deal with the anxiety, like in a healthy way? Mm-hmm. Which Emily Gordon, Kumail's wife, like posted some stuff. There's been a lot of great things online of people going like, you're filled with this shit right now. The consensus seems to be it's a great time to go volunteer for stuff, like, which sounds like a fucking last thing you want to do. Mm-hmm. As like, but it's like, I think it's a thing like if I force myself to like go to 826 LA and see what I can do to help, like that somehow that'll lead to some kind of relief in a healthy way. But the other thing is that I can't ignore is like, aren't we supposed to get ready for some fucking fisticuffs? I ordered a salad tonight at the restaurant because I gotta stop eating Doritos because there's Nazis. And I would be very foolish to be like, well, maybe they just need a hug.
That to me sounds like a great origin story for an Avengers character.
I never understand. I don't understand fighting violence with violence. I just have never understood that. So if I think kudos to say, I think I'd stand straight up to that person and get him to back down. I think there is a version of that doesn't have to be violent and confrontational, but you and I have talked a lot about the idea of lines and divides and trying to figure out, people are so scared to say how they felt. And it's because the people who have the privilege to be on social media and have a lot of followers, or to be on a podcast, or to be on whatever, they tend to all kind of believe the same things, and we're all just talking to each other. Mm. And I think, with algorithms and Facebook, and you just see what you want to see, and I don't understand how that's ever going to change anything.
Yeah, we were all just talking to ourselves the whole time. Like if you like one side or the other, you were only listening to that one side.
Even when
why are you so surprised that there is another side? You just weren't listening to it.
Well, also, why is a parakeet surprised that there's a mirror in its cage? Like we are. Why are people chanting for Hulk Hogan, shocked that someone's into the Iron Sheik at the same event?
Right.
Like we are being sold.
Because of the camel clutch. The camel clutch was a devastating move.
And I think another thing that was kind of like a weird relief was that because I don't like as a celebrity or a person who's in movies, I don't like the idea of being like, I believe this, so therefore I'm going to change all your opinions because I believe it. And I think that's like a weird egocentric thing, and that's kind of what Hollywood did. And what we were talking about when I brought it up the other day, you said no one's going to look at Jay-Z and be like, oh, Jay-Z wants Hillary for president. I have so much in common with Jay-Z. I'm going to vote for Hillary now. Like, they've got nothing in common.
I've got 99 problems, too.
But is it bitch one?
It is now.
I've got 99 problems, and a bitch not being in the White House is one of them. He puts out a new version of his. Yeah, what were we talking about? I mean, the Jay-Z example kind of like blurs lines for me because I get scared and white and like, well, again, I don't. It's like there is so it's like I can't fucking blank explain anything to a certain like yeah, like
that's gonna be the new thing.
But I will say, like,
it's gonna be the episode title.
What were you saying? I was like if I'm working in I'm gonna take some liberties and create a cartoon character. If I'm Joe Welds-a-lot coming off of my half-closed factory job and going to Pizza Hut because it's the fanciest restaurant in town and it's payday, and I'm like eating with a knife and fork because pizza's fancy food for me because I live in Podunkia. I'm taking liberties. I'm saying assume the guy that's the least receptive to this message. Like it's like
so Joe Welds-a-lot from Podunkia.
The TV in the corner all of a sudden has Robert Downey Jr. on it saying like, look, we have to talk. Tomorrow, you have a choice to make, and the power is in your hands. And it doesn't really matter. I'm like they made a very funny, self-effacing, like kind of like meta version of that thing. But I'm just saying like that. The bottom line of that message isn't, oh, look what I'm doing, or I'm making you aware of something. Everybody knows the election's coming up. Everybody that cares about voting because they feel something's at stake for them, because they're not hopelessly disenfranchised, is going to vote because it's actually about them and like they feel that way. And so a person saying like, look at me, you got to vote and you got to vote right. Like if I was the slightest bit inclined to like, you know, not believe in the elitist, like liberal King's Landing, that I'd be like, see, there we go. I would pull the other lever twice just because I'd be like, don't, and so but it's probably bolstering the base, you know, somewhere else. I don't know what we got on this topic. It's stupid. It's more. Let's bring out Brandon Johnson. He'll help us.
Oh yeah, hit it, babes. Brandon Johnson. The only guy who is always better dressed than me.
How are you, folks? See, look at you healed and shit. You healing. I'm glad you all made it out. Thanks for having me, Dan.
That's another thing. It seems like we can't enjoy anything anymore right now.
Well, not this week. Don't rush us.
Well, exactly. Like I feel like if I'm smiling, someone's judging me. Or if I'm like having a lunch, like I can't be enjoying the food I'm eating.
I've been forcing myself to express my pissy kind of comments as jokes, recognizable as jokes, on Twitter. But then someone will go like, I'm just waiting for somebody to go like, yo, you didn't make that joke about Hillary, or whatever their response is that's not either that's funny. I don't even want to hear that's not funny. If it's not funny, don't tweet at me. What is he fucking... This president almost got me to say retarded.
Brandon, where are you at right now? What's
Oh, hi, Brandon.
Oh, man, it's awesome. It's like if you were a Native American and you looked over and you were like, all I noticed was that y'all motherfuckers wasn't shooting at me and trying to steal my land no more. What is going on out there? It looked like white people mad at each other. This is the greatest day.
We're actually...
Because the weird shit is there were no shootings 2 to 3 weeks. Y'all had
of Native Americans?
Of black people.
Oh.
There was a dip. There was a dip.
We started hating a lighter shade of brown.
That's right. So it has been amazing to watch. It is like it's like a Super Bowl or a baseball game, you know.
Do you really think would you speculate that is a symptom of any kind of solidarity, like the idea that
no, man, y'all new with this shit. You never had your dreams crushed. Let me tell you, this shit for y'all is like, it's almost like if a black kid was laying in a pool of blood. You know, and for hours and shit, and then a bunch of people videotaped it. And you were like, I'm fucked up over that. And then it kept happening, and there were like 585 in a year. Your heart would already be broke. So this shit is like amazing.
Are you saying that you think like the Chicago PD was less inclined to start shooting people that they knew were black American citizens because now they're starting to defend borders like and shit. Or?
I'm saying I look down and I see Upper Matic. I see troops on either side fucking each other up over some shit that I'm not really a part of. I'm gonna get fucked over either way. It's like white people, once they come together after this Republican Democrat shit, I live in Los Feliz, and it wasn't like white people were running up to me like, damn, this is fucked up, and I just want to apologize. So I'm like, you'll be all right.
Well, if you keep dressing up like you're from Nation of Islam from 1965.
You might get grandfathered into a shooting. Be careful.
See what I'm saying? See how comedy can bring us together.
As long as it's you
feel like your dreams got crushed because you were about to do some real cool shit. I know how you feel. You were like, we fucking with fucking Obama right now. We got 8 years. We're about to do some cool shit. We gentrifying. We making moves, motherfucker. Everybody is out there kicking it right now. We're doing ecstasy. We're kicking it. This is the greatest motherfucking country in the world. And then all of a sudden, just as you were about to get that last drink, somebody came and smashed your dream. And I've been there. I'll be there every time I try to order a drink.
I can't get this
scene. So let me give you the handbook of how you can make it through this shit.
Lay it on us.
Oh.
Run! I don't know what you gonna do. You got to run. Bring your kids close. Number one thing really is like, don't panic. It's a long fucking haul. You got to understand. This motherfucker got about 2 years, really. Because in those last 2 years, we gonna come at you. You know we are. That's number one. And stop being bitches about the shit. You act like you in Mogadishu, like motherfuckers ran up on your house in trucks and were like, pulled your daddy out. Where I come from, where Mexicans come from, where Asians come from, motherfuckers die during election season. People leave town to get the fuck out because it might be a new president.
Okay, I don't want to just clear those bars as a society. I'd like to avoid getting as low as comparing ourselves to an election where people are getting killed instead of voting. But to your point, we are pussies.
We're not pussies, and it's great that we're upset. We should be upset. That was some bullshit that went down. But you better get the fuck back up, because we live in Whoville. You hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
If the Grinch looks at us, I want him to hear us singing.
Oh, Whoville.
I don't want that motherfucker.
I thought it was from Horton Hears a Who, and I was like, nobody reads that one. That's
Horton
like
is there. Horton is there.
Horton Needs a Who is the Apocalypse Now of Seuss books. It's like all the film students are like, masterpiece. I'm fucking watching that shit. Got 6 hours of fucking fireworks and Martin Sheen dancing. Bonus DVD. Now the French scene's in it. Are you trying to make me kill myself? All right, sorry, I got off on a tangent. But I want you made me picture a scene that has nothing to do with what you're saying, and I can't. I've like my OCD, like, because you're like, when I misunderstood you earlier when you were saying, I was picturing like the scene like there was a cop on the foot of his bed getting dressed for work, and like he had slept through the election results and he assumed that Hillary got elected, and so he's lacing his blue laces, navy, with the usual tooth gritted, resigned, numb determination. Time to go back into the demilitarized zone and fight a war that can't be won. And then his wife comes in with some orange juice and some pancakes, and she goes like, "You seem a little glum." And he's like, "Yeah, another day, another dollar." And she goes, "You didn't watch the results last night, did you?" "What are you talking about? We elected some email lady." "No, honey. We're racist now." "Shut up. The whole country." Against who? Name them.
Pick a country.
And he's like, so I don't have to represent racism while trying to do your job of policing the public? No, it has been taken up by every man, woman, and child in the country. So my job is to serve and protect the racist. Zippity-doo-dah. And then he walks past a black kid who is helping his friend move and is holding a TV.
But that's a crime.
And he's but he on any other day, and he goes like, need help with that? And then he gets it over to the car, and he gets in it. The guy's like, thanks, officer. And he's like, no problem. Just, try to be a little more low profile. What do you mean in helping my friend move? You were helping your friend move? You thought I was robbing someone? Yeah. But we're building a wall.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still racist. I'm just in a good mood right now.
Yeah. Like, you just became the smallest racist fish to fry I have. Like racism is my life now. It's like it should be. It's Christmas.
I was like on I don't know if you watched SNL last night, Dave Chappelle.
No.
It was the funniest bit was in a way was David Chappelle and Chris Rock. They're in a room filled with white people screaming at the television, finding out that Hillary was losing. And they're like, oh, my God, I can't believe there's so many racists in this country. And they're just like, yeah, what do you mean? Listen, you just figured that out because of this election?
There was all this sexual assault in the comedy community, right? And comedians are clowns. They're clowns. That's what we do. When you hear that they're like raping clowns, you should probably perk your fucking ears up. When you hear that there's shit going down, you probably should have known because we're living in what so many other people saw coming up. If you were down on the ground, if you're fucking suffering, if you're a woman, if you're handicapped, if you're gay, if you're black in the United States, you knew what the fuck was about to go down. I'm not surprised.
So many homophobic handicapped people right now are just like, fucking keep it up, man. Keep putting me on that list.
And because we're not surprised, we're not tripped out about the shit. So don't you be tripped out about the shit. Just fucking work
That's
hard.
what people don't talk about in the news media as much as they ought to, is how homophobic most handicapped people are. It's not a joke. It's a real fucking thing.
It's not a popular topic. It won't get you, winning a popularity contest.
But it might get you elected.
But if you wait until there's a huge population of homophobic handicapped people, and one side has completely ignored them, and then you go, we're gonna build a big ramp, dick-proof wall. We're gonna build a giant ramp that gets you to all the pussy and keeps all the dick underneath it.
That's what Pence is planning on doing if we impeach Trump, by the way.
I know. Well, that's the other thing. It was like,
no, we can't impeach Trump. No. We need him in there.
No.
Because
we need this thing to absolutely become a sinking ship and watch the whole thing consume itself. Because if he gets busted for one of his 90 rape trials that are coming up, the guy that looks like Eisenhower, who hates gay people more than anybody, goes into office, and then the shit's for real then.
Well, so think about the irony of that. Remember 8 years ago, like I said at the top of the show, I truly am 43 years old, grew up in the 70s. I really, truly believed we didn't have it. It wouldn't have happened. I was like, holy shit. I was a total surprise to me that Obama got elected. And so my first thought was, oh shit, it's a lot of white liberals are like, is he gonna get assassinated? And then the response to that would always be like, oh, with a chuckle, oh God, no, not President Biden. So think about the irony of the fact that we're chuckling about that, and then now Trump gets elected again. Your first thought, because you didn't see it coming, is he gonna get assassinated? And everybody goes, no, not President fucking Pence. What that guy knows exactly what to do. We got. It's gonna take 2 years for Trump to find the phone. There's already articles about him. Did you see the thing about he announced he wants to do things a little different? He doesn't want to spend very much time in the White House.
Yeah.
It's almost adorable. It starts to make you think, what if he did?
But he's going to leave Rudy Giuliani and fucking...
Yeah, no, it's all bad.
And lobbyists and his cabinet.
They know what to do. They Newt Gingrich, he invented this whole fucking mess. He's like, we just call it not what it really is, and then we don't have to talk on the same reality as everybody else. And that's like where we're at as a...
And his name is Newt, plain sight. Newt Draconis from the Not At All Lizard People. I don't think global warming is a problem. Sometimes you need a little sun. Sometimes you need a fuckload of flies.
Giuliani is the only person that claps louder when he hears 9/11 than our audience.
That guy is straight up. Every clinician I texted, because I've done this before. I've seen people on a monitor, and I've texted doctors that were in the area and said, "Is he sundowning?" Yes. That was a.
What is sundowning?
Reference.
I don't know what that phrase means.
The sundowning is people suffering from
Alzheimer's disease,
dementia, Alzheimer's. There's a phenomenon where they
werewolf
around the sundown hours.
That's called moon upping.
There can be a huge shift, sometimes to euphoria, sometimes to super anger, often just confusion and stuff, agitation. It's probably very very agitating to who knows?
Giuliani is going through a weird metamorphosis where he's looking more like one of those fishes that you only see in the very deep, deep ocean. Where the teeth are doing a whole weird thing, and there's
he's saying shit that's crazier. He's Trump's Flavor Flav. He was no one's getting a guillotine when he talks because he's not running for anything. And then Trump won, and he's like, bring out the Legion of Doom, and it was just this fucking it was like the end of Michael Douglas's The Game. I know Michael Douglas didn't produce the film, but I just mean the Michael Douglas movie The Game, when it's at the end of the party, it's oh, you were there and you were there. The Secretary of Transportation, Chris Christie, stepped on my joke with your kiss. I connected the dots of transportation and Chris Christie. I bet nobody's thought of that. What's next? I'm Secretary of Garlic, Count Dracula. He'd hate it. He'd get rid of it.
Secretary of Garlic.
Yeah, bad things are bad thing. But yeah, this is all a mishmash. There's a big casserole. We got this political thing, which like the voting and the thing. It's important. It's important. I'm not going to be jaded about that anymore. I still maintain. Stop yelling at people on Twitter about how they voted for some bat person or whatever. Those people went out.
Her name's Jill Stein, and you don't have to be mean about it.
I said 300 million people in this country, and a fraction of them vote every 4 years. And every time we do this ritual where, when it's a squeaker, we compare the numbers, and then we look. Oh, when you voted for Harambe, that person wasn't on anyone's side. We should be impressed that they wanted to express themselves and be counted.
I like that we remember every 4 years how fucked up the electoral college is, but we're never mad about that for the 3 and 0.9 years in between.
Yeah, if you want to change it, just not right after it worked and had a thing, and we can't change it now, especially with the Republican House and Senate. Yeah. Good luck.
I want to know who are the 49 million people that didn't vote, and who we should be concerned with those people.
Those are the real. Those are the we stood by while evil triumphed.
Or they have their own creepy, weird ass party that could take over both of our fucking parties. We gotta find out who had it so good that they didn't care it was gonna be bad, or who had it so bad they didn't care it was gonna be good.
You know who I blame? I feel like the turnout among babies was very low.
Yeah.
I talked to
where's the baby vote?
Lizzie, you were gonna say something.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I get nervous.
Let's see if I had something to say. Oh, I did.
I was gonna say. Oh, what you did too. Do you remember what you were gonna say? Because I just remembered what I was gonna say.
No, you go.
Girl.
I was gonna say, like, I appreciate the humor, but we can't attack. Like right now, attacking any group of anything isn't actually helping.
It's not helping, but I think
it happens.
We're Don Ricklesing right now. We're going like Mexicans vote like this. Whoa. We're putting a big headline on it, which is like, because I was like, well, there's just observational humor to be made. Like you see the statistics, and as a white person, you're like I was watching the numbers and looking at the statistics, and at one point, I swear to God, there was a thought briefly, just you know how like the thoughts are just going, and the embers that come out of the campfire, they mostly just disappear when they're 2 inches from the fire, and then others cause huge fires. For one moment, there was a little spark in my head when I saw the number of immigrants that weren't voting. I was like, you fuckers, now I want a wall. You're ruining the election.
It would help if
I should be protected from you.
It would help if there was a day off.
Yeah,
That's the big deal.
You
know, nobody knows this, but
super...
if you have a shitty job, your boss does not let you go vote.
No, that's fucking insane.
And you don't get enough time to vote. Like, what do we get in California? An hour? Like, sometimes you need... Yeah, that's... Well, I guess I haven't been told that from my employer because they told me an hour. But
I think they should...
I told you not to vote.
The whole day.
I think they should move the day we all vote to Christmas Eve.
It's obviously insane that it's not a holiday. That makes no fucking sense at all.
We don't want it's very clear that we don't want everyone to vote. We don't want it to be a thing.
But we repealed the Voting Rights Act. It was like a big part of the civil rights movement, and we got rid of it.
Yeah.
In the swing states where Trump won.
Now it's back.
Yeah, Trump won.
I fixed it.
What the hell happened? A guy in a tank top just made a weird sound and walked away. Was that one of the babes?
It's statistically speaking, 30% of Los Angeles voted for Trump. I think it was the bass player of the Babes.
Hey, babes, you're sitting over there. Do you want to introduce yourselves and say hello to the gang? Are your mics hot? Can we hot up their mics? Is anybody driving the ship back here?
They're hot now.
All right, they're all getting high back there. You're hot.
We control our own mics and our own destiny.
Wait, all right. You get vocal effects?
We have reverb.
What's your name over there, sir, with the mustache?
Zach.
Yeah, of course, Zach. Hello. And?
I'm Sarah. The guy who took a piss is Aaron.
Aaron.
That's Lourdes.
Woo! Now, you guys have been pretty candid online about you being huge Gary Johnson supporters. So, you guys... I'm joking, of course. You guys want to weigh in?
No. We don't mix that's rock and roll treason. We don't mix politics and rock.
Well done.
Like Bruce Springsteen.
Or Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Like Bob Dylan.
Or the Sex Pistols, yeah.
Or hip hop. It's all right. It's all right.
Now, I have a question. I tweeted about it. I went the day after the Wednesday morning. I went and got a coffee, and a bunch of glum hipsters in Silverlake were all looking bummed out while they were ordering $11,000 quiches and croissants.
Just to interject, you officially no longer know that those guys aren't Nazis because two of them poked Kumail in the chest.
Right. Well,
it happened in Silverlake.
Yes.
Well, oh my God! It happened in Silverlake.
It happened in Silverlake.
Just when you thought it was safe to have artisanal yogurt.
I'm tired of letting you shame me, Brandon. White liberals are having a hard time right now.
So everyone's like,
wait until you have to pick up your kids from the morgue.
Why you?
My kids. I'm laughing.
Can't you just leave them? Why do you have to pick them up? Can't you just leave them there? They're not gonna know.
Wait, liberals' kids are pre-morgued. We don't reproduce. They get in the way of our wine tastings.
But anyway, there was glum people and a gal, like a young kind of hipsterish like barista chick from behind the counter, kind of smiled like kind of a wry, semi-ironic smile. Just, well, On the bright side, at least music's gonna get good again.